Amplify Book Club, session number 6. Though this is actually, we have crossed more than 250 meetings. Okay. I'm just saying meeting number 6 actually, but it is more than 250 plus meetings. We have already had it. Okay. I'm talking about is we started meeting in 2007, and most of the meetings used to be offline. And only from 2020, okay, after the pandemic, we started online, and it was not regular. But this year, yes, now we have started every second and fourth Saturday at 7 p.m. We are meeting, and those who are really interested to share or review any of the books, okay, you are welcome. You can just reach me out, send me the details, and you can schedule yourself. It is on second and fourth Saturday, simple. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll go with the introduction round, quick, and then Mr. Farokh would take over in terms of reviewing today's book, what he has picked up. Yeah. So maybe we'll start with Mr. Venugopal Reddyar, who is from US. Maybe have a quick introduction. So people who are joining in new, so they also get connected with you. Yeah. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Good evening, friends. Basically, I'm a medical doctor. Primary care physician. I have been practicing medicine for more than 45 years. And besides practicing medicine, I usually give talks and conduct seminars and workshops on behavior-related topics, behavioral science. So, but primary profession is medical profession. This is a secondary profession. And especially after this COVID, I not been doing a lot offline, but online, I give every second Thursday and fourth Thursday Zoom talk, Indian time, 8 p.m. So if you are interested, I can share the link with you. And I'm doing this as a service for the public without any expectation of any financial rewards. So I'm donating my time, energy, and knowledge for the welfare of the public. So that is what I am. And I'm always interested. I'm always a learner. So that is why when I saw this, the email notification from Kushalji, I immediately thought, okay, let me join. Yeah. And I already told him that if I get a call in between, I am expecting a call, then I may have to leave. Otherwise, I wish you all the best. I believe that you'll be able to gain some new insights from listening to Mr. Sidhva.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Venugopal. Also, I request you to pick up one of the book. Maybe next month you can also do another session where you can review a book of whichever is your favorite. Okay. Thank you for introducing. And those who are watching on YouTube Live and Facebook Live, I request you to please join the Zoom meeting. Already the link is given in the description. Okay, join us live so that you can interact with Mr. Farokh as well here. Okay. So yes, can I invite Mr. M.K. Burjorji to introduce, then Mr. Parthiban, we have Prasad, Shiv Prasad, Suresh, Tribhuvan. Just take a quick round of introduction, maybe just 30 seconds. Share your name, where you are from, what you do, maybe quickly. Yeah. Anyone would like to go? Yeah, Mr. Parthiban. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is good evening, everyone. This is Parthiban from Bangalore. So I'm also interested to learn and implemented the methodologies which is there. Instead of going for the entire book reading, this is a good platform for me to understand the crisp of the books, what is there. So if it is interested, I can put it into the reading of the whole book. That's the thing which I'm planning to do over here. Thank you.
Thank you, Parthiban. And this is not actually just reviewing book or summarizing the book. There are a lot of, if you go and watch on YouTube, you will get the videos. But what happens here is mainly is interacting with the person and understanding their perspective. See, what happens is when we read the book, we come with different thought, different different what do you say, the thinking pattern of author. Maybe sometimes we like what he's sharing, sometimes we don't like. Okay, sometimes there will be like we have conflict understanding the whatever he has written. So this interactive forum, what happens is we can resolve those issues what are conflicting with us in itself. Okay. And second thing is also when you're summarizing or reviewing a book, okay, it is also to reiterate what you have read. Okay. So making sure that some points we might have missed out, Some points we know, but we don't know the meaning of it, or how it get applied in the real life. Okay, that is where this book reviews, book discussion, debate, all this works actually. Because we have been doing, we even invited a lot of authors to come and share what made them to write and what is the pattern and how people are reacting to it. Sometimes they criticize, okay, saying that why did you write this point? Why? Because sometimes it's conflicting. But what happens is when they hear from the author's perspective, it will completely change. Okay, that's how it is. So amazing. Thank you, Parthiban, for sharing that. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. So next, can I invite Deepika, Prasad? Just quick introduction about yourself. Sudhiranjan Mandal. Okay. Yes, sir.
Good morning. Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, just introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, and what you do. Maybe just 30 seconds.
Good evening, Sudhir.
I think some network issue. You can put up your camera and then introduce. Not a problem, sir. If you have camera issue, network issue, yeah. Go ahead, sir. Okay, so I think Mr. Sudhiranjan is coming back. In meantime, Mr. Tribhuvan, you can go ahead, introduce it.
Yeah, I have this is Tribhuvan and I have joined from Pune.
Okay, amazing.
And this is my first attendance in this austere club. So thanks for the invitation and that I could join. I really appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to a very interesting session. Coming from my background, I have been into automotive industry for 37 years and just came out of the rat race and now following my other interests in life.
Okay, then you should talk about rat race as well as Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah, one of these days, yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
amazing. We already had this session, I think. Rich Dad Poor Dad, we had the first session, I think.
Okay, great.
So thank you. Yes, Suresh, you can go ahead introducing.
Yes, I'm Suresh Kapati from Hyderabad. I'm a director of Kapati Overseas Private Limited. My background is almost 15 years. I was in overseas for the chemical and mineral process plant projects. And I came here and floated a company, which is now running in 3 verticals: exports and hospitality, as well as the manufacturing of recycling products. And I'm very much research into the which is not in the academics. So that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Good. Even see, reading book itself is reading author's life, right? So many years of experiences is put in one book, and now we are summarizing that into a still more smaller way, right? Okay, so that's how it is. But it's great learning from each other's perspective. Amazing, Suresh, for joining today's session. Good to see you. Okay, so thank you. And next, can I invite someone else? Mr. Binde, Parthiban, you already introduced. Great. Prasad Kanagali, Rashmi, Satyanarayan, Shiv Prasad. Okay, so people are.
May I, Vishal-ji?
Yes, go ahead, Deepika.
Yeah, good evening all. Myself, Deepika from Mumbai. Well, I'm a motivational and a campus to corporate trainer, currently working with a creative agency, media and entertainment in Mumbai. I look forward for today's session by Mr. Farokh Sidhva. I've been listening of late a lot of sessions of him. I must say he is an amazing speaker. I'm sure all of us are going to go and take away a lot from today's session. So best wishes to you, Farokh sir, and all the best as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deepika, for introducing. Amazing.
Thank you, Vishal.
Okay, Mr. Prasad has put the message in the chat, but I recommend if you can come live and share from your own perspective, because what happens is now we are also live on YouTube and Facebook, and people, those who are missing it, they might be watching it again later stage. So it will be easy for you to get connected with others as well. Okay, so if you want to quick introduction, you can do it. It's your choice. Yeah. Anyone else who want to go next? Chat, introduce. Okay. Great. Okay, so then we'll, as I think Shiv Prasad has unmuted. You want to introduce Shiv Prasad?
Yeah, I'm Shiv Prasad from Bangalore. just I'm interested in reading.
Okay.
So I thought I could, if I listening to that lecture, after that I can go and read that book again for detailed.
Okay. So what do you do in life?
No, I'm in government service.
You are into government service. Amazing.
So, I have completed almost 35 years in service.
Wow.
So,
Great.
so
Great.
I'm from Bangalore. Reading is one of my interests.
Yeah.
So I thought wherever the book is I find it interesting. I
Right.
thought I can go read that book in detail
Yeah.
again.
Thank you, Shiva. Actually, so this actually, Amplify Book Club was previously called as Bangalore Book Club. So we have 5,000 plus members on Facebook and on Meetup group actually, and we have been organizing offline events since 2007. Only from last couple of years we have started online, and the power of online is, see, people have joined from US, people have joined from Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, different locations. That's the advantage of having an online session, right?
Yeah.
And even our speaker for today,
Yeah.
he's been going to share from Mumbai. He's in Mumbai already, and he is going to share from there. Okay, so likewise, so that's an advantage of going online actually. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you everyone for introducing, and those who have not introduced, maybe you can introduce at a later point whenever you are coming for discussion or asking question with the Farokh Sidhva, okay, when he's taking up the session. So first of all, I would like to share that Farokh Sidhva is actually one of the youngest person in our community, you can say. And he has huge experience. He has worked with L&T, that is Larsen & Toubro, as HR head. And he has been working with various companies, and he is also a trainer as well. Okay, so he do a lot of training and consulting. After retirement, he has started, but I would say he's still not retired, but whatever the experience we are able to gain from his trainings are these kind of knowledge sharing sessions, which actually enhances our life. That's what I could say, because he brings in his own experience, he brings in his own perspective. That's what I would say. And he has experience of more than 45, 50 plus years of in the industry, I can say. So that's amazing. Yeah. So thank you, Farokh, for taking up this, and I really want to thank you. So maybe you can start. Over to you, sir.
Recording in progress.
Recommend is you can also introduce quickly for you because I've just taken just 2 lines, but you can introduce yourself as well. It's open. Yeah. Sudhiranjan, we are not able to hear you. Yeah. What I suggest is you can put it in the chat. Okay, Farokh sir, yes, you can go ahead. Yeah, I'll put you on spotlight as well. You can start.
Good evening, everybody. A warm welcome to all who have taken their time off on Saturday evening to listen to this book review. At the onset, let me thank Kushalji for this opportunity for a book review. Friends, the title of the book, I'd just like to share screen. The title of the book is Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. It's by Dr. Robert B. Cialdini. He's a scholar in psychology, and this is a national bestseller. So, in his introduction, what made the author write this book? He admits that he is an easy prey for peddlers, fundraisers, and other people. Quite frequently, the author has found himself unwanted. He succumbs to taking magazine subscription and tickets, which he never goes. He wonders, why is this happening to him so often? Why is a sucker? Why does he fall for the prey? What is it which people do, which influences him to do what he does not want to do? So this led to a study of the techniques people use to influence. And he has come out with 7 weapons which most people use. So it is good to know these 7 weapons which people use to influence you so that you do not unnecessarily get influenced whenever they apply it. This book has about 300 pages of experience and research, and to concise it in 1 hour is a task. However, I've tried to make it simple by taking each weapon separately, explaining the weapon with the connected example to make it easy. So I hope I'm able to come across to your expectations. Thank you. So let's get started. I said earlier there are 7 weapons of influence, but here I'm showing 9. It so happens that one of the chapter has 3 weapons. So I thought of putting those down separately. That's why it is 9 weapons of influence. The first one is a stereotype thinking. We don't want to change our thinking. Our mindset is fixed. And when something happens, we continue in the same stream. People take advantage of this thinking. Secondly, we arrive at a judgment through shortcuts without proper analysis. We say, okay, this is to be done this way. We will do it this way. But at that stage, at that point of time, things may change. But we don't look into it. We don't see proper analysis. And that is a big problem. There was a lady who had a shop selling jewelry in a very good area. She made lots of profit. One day she displayed a set of turquoise jewelry. Turquoise is a stone, precious stone, about blue-green in color, but less costly than gold. So accordingly, she fixed the price. 3 weeks went by and not a single piece was taken. So she was going out for 3 days for some work. She told the salesperson that change the price by 1/2, meaning reduce the price by 50%. That lady heard only 2. So instead of reducing, she multiplied by 2 and doubled the price and put it for sale. When the lady finally turned up, she was happy that all the jewelry, all turquoise jewelry was sold. But she was shocked to learn that it wasn't sold at the reduced price. It was sold at double the price. So she was wondering, how is this happened? So she consulted Robert B. Cialdini. He told her the only logical conclusion is that most people, and these are rich people who go for jewelry and all continuously, they associate quality with expensive. So initially when the turquoise was priced at a correct level, they felt that the quality may not be so good. But when the price was double, the same item sold easily. So this is the first weapon he has pointed out, stereotype thinking. So we need to get out of this thinking. Second is very interesting. It's called contrast principle. If 2 objects or 2 persons are placed in front of you, and you first show person A, then you take a decision, it will be one set of decision. But instead of the A person, you show the person B, then the decision is not same. It will be different. Humans perceive 2 objects or 2 people differently based on which is shown first. The agents use this to a large extent, household agents. A couple was searching for flats. So they had a price fixed. They said the upper limit is this, but we want a good house. So the agent first started showing them rundown flats, which required a lot of repairs and all that. Plus the price was really exorbitant for the rundown flats, almost close to the price which they had quoted. They didn't like, of course. So after a week, he phoned them and said, I have found a house which you will simply fall in love. It's great. But the only problem is, it's not at the price you are settled. You'll have to pay so much percentage more. They had a look at it and they really fell in love. And they thought to themselves that at rundown flats, if you are getting at this price, this extra price which we will pay, it is manageable. So they bought the flat. So this is the contrast principle. Had they been shown the good flat in the beginning, they would have said it is overpriced. We like to see more flats before deciding. But because they are shown rundown flats first, they took a decision quite differently. When a person goes to buy a car, if the car accessories are shown to him first and the cost is taken out, certain accessories come with the car. Certain optional accessories are priced high. So they feel that it's too high. Why should I pay so much? I'll get them accessories fixed outside. Then they move to the car. Car price is fixed. They move out with the car. The accessories they don't buy. But if the car was shown to them first, and after haggling the price was finalized, and then the accessories were shown, they will see the contrast. Such a big difference. I'm already paying so much money. What is there? I'll pay this much more and might as well get the accessories instead of finding out from somewhere else. So this is how the contrast principle really works. One more example is of people when we go for interview or selection process in good organizations, we get a certain day for interview. The important thing is when we interview candidates, we have to decide there and there whether we want them or not. Because if we don't want them, they will be immediately put up to other industries who have come. So one HR department started interviewing 6 people. The first person was okay about case, good you could say, but not definite. We'll get a good candidate out of the 5. But all 5 were washouts, no good. And they went away empty-handed. Had they seen the first 5 candidates before, and then they had seen this candidate, they said, oh, most candidates are useless, but this guy has some stuff. Maybe we can train him and take him up. They would have selected this candidate. So these examples just show you how contrast principles work and how people use the contrast principles to influence you. The next one is called reciprocation. If somebody does a favor for you, or favor to you, and he asks for a favor in turn, you would readily agree. Most people generally like to pay back favors received by them. They find it very difficult to say no to people who have earlier helped them out. So once a person is helped out, it's very difficult for you to say no to him. You don't think twice. You just agree to whatever he wants because he has helped you out in your need. A lady had a swank car and she was driving and the car started giving some problem. A youngster was going by. He managed to repair it within no time. And the lady thanked him and said, can I drop you somewhere? So he said, you may not recognize me, but we stay in the same colony. So you can drop me in the colony. 3 days later, the boy turns up to the woman and says, ma'am, I want the car, your car, for just 2 hours. Will you please loan me the car for 2 hours? Probably he wanted to show off to his friends or wanted to show off to his girlfriend. The lady, without hesitating, just gave the keys to him. After he had left, she started thinking, my God, this guy doesn't even look to be 18 years old, the minimum requirement to drive. If he is 18 also, I doubt he has insurance. Now, all these thoughts came to her subsequently. But at that time, she didn't wink at all and straight away gave the car keys to the boy. Of course, the car was returned in 3 hours with the bumper damaged a little. That's besides the point. So third, reciprocation is another weapon used very often. We move to the fourth one. It's called reciprocal concession. When a person makes one demand, you may find the demand outlandish or too big. You may refuse it. But if he makes a second demand, which is much less than the first demand, the chances are you will accede to this second demand. You refuse a first.
I think some network issue here. Maybe just gives a couple of seconds. Farokh, we are not able to hear you. Okay. So yes, Farokh, Sidhva would be joining soon. Just a couple of 1 more minute. Yeah. So if anyone want to share from Anu. Okay. So Farokh is back. Yeah. So I'm making co-host. I'll put him in the spotlight. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yeah. Now we are able to see you. Okay. Yes, we are on the same slide, both slides. Yeah.
Right. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, no issue. Thank you.
So you refuse the first demand and you agree to the second. This lady comes and then she shows 2 tickets. He wanted to wriggle out of the whole situation. So he says, what day is it? So she says, it's on this coming Saturday. He says, oh my God, I got an important meeting on Saturday. I'm sorry. He thought that was the last he would hear about her. But she immediately said, sir, for charity's sake, at least buy 2 chocolate bars. They're only 500 each. So he thought this is a good way out. So he paid 1,000 rupees and took the 2 chocolate bars and got rid of the lady. When he went inside his room, he was holding the 2 chocolate bars. He and his wife are both diabetic. They don't eat chocolates. He parted with 1,000 rupees. And he wasn't even sure that lady was genuine. So this is what happens in the case of a reciprocal concession. A friend of mine, I has joined an organization and I found one old chap quite friendly with me. People warn me that be careful with this guy. I found him good. So I conversed with him. I sometimes even went home with him. One day he gave me a real surprise. He said, can you please loan me 4,000 rupees? And then immediately he said, no hurry, think about it. If you want, go home and tell me. So I thought about it at home. I said, no second thoughts. I cannot afford 4,000 rupees at that time. And I'm going to say no to him. Though I knew that I'll feel really bad. He's been so helpful to me in the past. So I came back and said, I'm sorry. He immediately said, I understand you applied. No need to worry. And we started talking some other things. Suddenly he springs another surprise and said, can you loan me 1,000 rupees? I said, how is 1,000 going to help you? You're going to pay rent, no, for 4,000 rupees. How is he going to help you with 1,000? He said, at least this fellow will keep quiet. In 7 days' time, we are going to get our salary. So I'll pay him then. So I parted with 1,000 rupees, knowing fully well that I'm not going to get a single penny back. So this, my friends, is an example of reciprocal concession. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, sir. Clear it is. Yeah. Then go ahead.
Okay. We come to the next one, 5th one. It's called commitment and consistency. Once you are committed to something, you will try and show consistency. Once you've said yes to somebody, you don't want the person to say, he told me yes and then he went back on his word. you'll try to stay committed. Once we take a stand or promise something, we tend to stick to a promise, even if the matter goes against our rational thinking. A youngster saw an advertisement for a robotic car. He went to his dad and said, Dad, can you buy me this car for Christmas? Dad saw the price and said, my God, it's pretty steep. But then he thought to himself, what the hell, it's Christmas time. I can at least give my son this car. So though the price is high, he said he'll collect the car next day when he goes to work. When he went to the shopkeeper surprised him by telling him, I'm really sorry, but all the cars are sold up in the morning. He says, but when will it come? Before Christmas? He says, no, it's not likely to come. It may come 4 or 5 days after Christmas. So, but don't feel sad. I'll give you another car, which is very similar to this. So he saw the car, it didn't have the features of the earlier car. And it was again priced so high, it was almost close to the first car. But he had no choice. He took the car, gave it to his son. Son was sorry that he didn't get the robotic car. But father explained, and he was a good son. He accepted the whole thing. 3 days after Christmas, there is an ad in the paper that we received the stock of the robotic car. The son went to the father and said, brother, you had promised me this car. Now, what could the father do? He had already spent so much on the car. Now he has to spend again, almost double the amount. But he said, no, I'm committed to what I've said. Whatever happens, I will buy the car. So he went to the shop, he bought the car and gave it to his son. Few days later, he was at a party and started talking to somebody. And the talk went around Christmas time. So he explained the problem he had during Christmas. The guy told him, you have been a sucker. This is what they do purposely. They advertise for something good. People want it. They put it in cold storage, sell stuff which is not selling slow-moving items. And then after that is moved out, rush is gone, they'll bring up this item. So this is how they take advantage of the commitment of others. There's another technique called low ball technique. I don't understand why it's called low ball, but it's basically they're playing baseball in America. So they throw the low ball. So that's why it's called. The person goes to buy a car in a good showroom and he falls in love with one particular car. So they ask, how are you pricing it? Are you giving me any rebate on that? So they said, sir, we'll give you $400 rebate compared to any other showroom. You go to any other showroom, they won't give you this. So he said, okay, I'll think of buying it. Tomorrow I'll come with the money. He said, listen, why don't you do one thing? Take the car home. Your kids will be happy. Your wife will be happy. You show it off to your neighbors. So the guy does that. Can I do that? He said, yes. Come back tomorrow and pay the check. So he does all that. Now he's completely committed to buying that car. He comes back and he says, sorry, there was a mistake by the accountant. He has forgotten to show the cost of air conditioner. So either you can take the car without the air conditioner or with the air conditioner, we charge you that $400. But just remember that it's not less than anybody else. It's not more than anybody else. Now, at that time, the fellow really felt like bashing that chap up. But he was so committed to buying the car that he took the car. So these are the techniques people use to bring about commitment and consistency. The next technique used or weapon used for influencing is called social proofing. You like to do socially what others are doing. You don't want to be left out. You don't want to be seen as somebody who is different from the others. You want to live up to the social norms. People take advantage of that. We consider an action or behavior as more appropriate when we see others doing it. When we see others doing it, we think it's an appropriate behavior. And without thinking, we do that behavior. When I travel by train, I generally don't eat the dinner, which they serve at 8 o'clock. I don't take any help of the service because I prefer going home and eating. But whatever happens, the guy comes with a tray at the end of the service, and he has got that swath or that digestive thing, swath. But the main objective is there are 10 rupee notes lying all around. So you're supposed to, for the service given, you're supposed to pay 10 rupees. I would think normally, what the hell, I'll pay 10 rupees. But there was a guy sitting next to me. He says, is it compulsory that we have to pay? I said, it's not compulsory. So he said, okay, I won't pay. But later on, he felt bad. So he called the fellow and again paid 10 rupees. So he was trying to adjust to the social requirement of others. What I found out later was that this was a trick employed by the waiters. They themselves put some 10 rupee notes in the beginning before they start with the first person also, so that others feel like giving it. The only funny thing was, one day I didn't get the ticket and I traveled by an AC car, and there they were putting 20 rupees. That was the only difference. So this is social proofing. What products do we go for buying? We go for buying those products which sell maximum in the market. Do we look at the quality? No. What we see is this product is selling maximum, so it must be good. It's an assumption. It is again social proofing. We watch TV shows with maximum TRP ratings. Like Arnab show, he had jacked up the TRP ratings. But right now, if you see, his ratings have fallen like anything. Very few watch. When some people, a person took his whole family for dinner, there were 3-4 shops in the vicinity. So they were deciding which shop to go to. They found in one shop, there was a long queue. So they went and asked, how long will it take? They says, only 15 minutes, sir. And within 5 or 7 minutes, they were in. Now, what happened to the queue? The queue is formed by the people within only. It is to attract customers so that they know that, okay, this way, this restaurant must be the best one because there's so much crowd over there. So this, my friend, is social proofing. The next instrument or weapon used is liking. We are influenced by the people whom we like. If somebody who we like tells us something, it's rare that we will not obey or do what this person says. What are the things which influence us? What creates likability? First is attraction. We are attracted to others because of their talent, honesty, intelligence, even physical attraction. And these people possess this. We immediately agree to whatever they say without thinking. Physical example is a classic example. In Canada, the attractive candidates receive 2.5 times the vote as compared to unattractive ones. Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, father was also a Prime Minister. But when Justin entered politics, he was somebody whom very few people knew about. He stood against a candidate who was very strong. People were shocked that he won the election. They wondered what happened. So they could attribute it only to 2 things, his good looks and his good speech. So attraction is a very important characteristic in people liking it. The second one is similarity. If you meet people with similar background, similar opinion, similar personality, similar lifestyle, you gel much easier And therefore, when they place something, they try to influence you. You don't think twice, but get influenced. One more is compliment. You tend to like people who compliment you, even though you know it very clearly that at times it is false. I'm amazed at the people at the corporate level. They always have somebody who, generally the word used is chamcha, who at every occasion will praise the boss. Now the boss knows about it. At times he has shut up that fellow also. But he will have this guy around him. He feels good. Now if this guy wants something, the boss will immediately agree to. So compliment is one more thing which makes a liability. One-sided compliment, though, can lead to problems. There was a junior who said that my boss is very good. But he gives me only positive feedback. He never gives me negative feedback. I don't know how I'll improve. So this is a classic case where one-sided compliment does not work. Another example was Indira Gandhi. At the time of emergency, she had 5 people around her whom she always questioned. She told them that the West is bringing a lot of pressure on me to hold elections. Go outside, find out what people think. If elections are held tomorrow, what will happen? The whole world knew that she will fail. But these guys came and complimented her, says people are so happy at the things. You will win hands down. She lost and she saw herself behind bars. That is liking. We move to the next one. This is authority. We generally tend to listen to authority without question. There's a deep-seated sense of duty within most of us, which compels us to obey authority without questioning it. Even our parents sometimes, we simply obey them. We don't agree with it, but we obey them. Now, there are nurses in the hospital who are very knowledgeable and who have a lot of experience. They are so good, they can prescribe the complete medicine for any patient because they have years of experience. But when a doctor gives a prescription, and even if they know it is wrong, they will simply follow it to the T. That is what authority leads to. 10% of cardiac arrests in hospitals in America is due to wrong medication by doctors. Now imagine if these nurses were to butt in, at least discuss with the doctors. So many lives could be saved. One person complained of a ear pain. So the visiting doctor told him, I'm suggesting some drops, and writing to the nurse, she will put 2 drops 3 times a day. And by the end of the day, you'll feel well. Don't worry about it. The nurse read the prescription and brought the medicine, the drops, and surprisingly told him to turn on his back. And she put 2 drops in his bums, in his anus. Now a nurse knows very clearly there is no connection between the ear and the anus. Why did she do it? She was simply listening to the authority. The man was an educated person, but he thought, oh, the doctor knows best. I don't see connectivity, but there must be some connectivity. When the thing was checked up, the prescription said, put 2 drops 3 times a day in the right ear. Now, instead of writing right, he wrote R ear, meaning right ear. She read it as rear. So put it in the rear, and that is why she put the medicine in the anus. Most government officials, if you visit them, they are very fussy about your designation. So when people go there, they generally tend to jack up their designation because with the designation comes the authority. They think so. It's not right every time, but with designations, people assign authority. You get swayed by people. Say two people are training. One person wears ordinary shirt and pant, and another is come in suit. The first one, the second one definitely displays some sort of authority in the beginning before he opens his mouth. Somebody wearing jewelry, good jewelry. The candidate's voice, like Amitabh Bachchan, you get connected with it. So these are also signs of authority. Obedience to authority is generally rewarding. This is another important thing. It is generally seen that if you obey authority, there are people who will not agree everything with the boss says. They will counter it. They will give their point of view. They will argue with the boss. Finally, they may do what the boss says, but they will not take it lying down. But there are others who will simply do what the boss says. The boss also likes to keep such people in front of him because he has no khatpat in discussing and arguing and all that. So this is one of the factors I have found very true in authority. As explained, authority is also perceived through physical and material observations, like the business suit, jewelry, voice I have mentioned earlier. So this is authority. With this, I move to the last weapon, that is scarcity. What is not available easily or difficult to get becomes more valuable. If something is not available easily, like in this picture, you see water is a scarcity. How precious it is for these women. Very precious. Why? It's not available freely. Second thing is, scarcity principle works also when the freedom is obstructed. When we want to now become more valuable, scarcity exists in them. The first case, what is not available easily or difficult to get is more valuable. When alcohol is freely available, very few people drink. But the moment the ban comes, almost everybody becomes a drinker. Shops create a scarcity by not having a particular brand in the shop. They hide the brand, sell the second brand. So that brand gets sold, then they take out the main brand. Talking about freedom, two youngsters meet one another and they find their freedom obstructed, valuable freedom, by their parents. Both the parents don't want them to get together or marry. Finally, what happens? They either elope or they have a love marriage and get out. But a better way out, they say, is let the person be free. Tell the person very clearly. You take the decision. You move out with this person. If you find a problem, then stop it. But if you still feel you want to marry, I will get you married. But don't blame me for this. I am giving it. I will not interfere in your freedom. Most likely, they'll separate much before that. In Russia, Gorbachev for the first time gave freedom to these people. And suddenly Gorbachev was caught by the communists and others and put in jail. There was a solid uprising in Russia, which made them retract and bring out Gorbachev again. People are surprised that in a state like Russia, which is akin to China, what is today, how can they oppose the authority? But they did, because they had tasted freedom. And once you tasted freedom, they understand the value of freedom. In the one college, where 18-year-old kids were there, they had a book reading session where they had to go to the library and read books. So the professor suggested one book, said at least go through the book so that later on you may want to read it. But he split the boys into two sections. Two sections. One section just went, saw the book. Some of them didn't even touch, read some other books. In the other sections, all the boys read the book. At least read through the whole gist of the book. Why? Because there on the book was written only for ages 21 and above. So they created a scarcity. They said only these people should read. Like a movie is there for adults. When we are young, we are trying to squeeze in. We wanted to see what is so great about being adults. So scarcity is something akin to that. Kushalji, I think I have completed 15 minutes before my time. So I welcome any questions, please.
Yeah, you have still more time, half an hour, 15 minutes actually. So maybe you can take up question answers, or maybe anyone want to share what they got out of the point, or if they have any doubts or ask. Okay, so I invite everyone to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Venugopal. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. It was a very good session, Mr. Sidhva. I really like your presentation, contents, everything. And
Thank you.
can I have some 3 minutes to share some of my comments? They are very relevant and useful because you talk. That is where right now the COVID is very important. Khan Kolkar Suno. Okay, this is the typical Hindi film dialogue. Khan Kolkar Suno. I'm a medical doctor. I've been practicing medicine for 45 years. So, most of you must have taken at least 2 doses of vaccination, fully vaccinated. Some of you might have taken 3rd dose as well. Why they have been taking this one? The authority, the CDC, Center for Disease Control in USA, WHO, and ICMR, they are all suggesting vaccination, vaccination, vaccination. Initially, they said, if you take 2 doses, you are fully protected. That will prevent the spread. You don't have to wear any mask. That is from one Dr. Fauci, who is supposed to be the authority here, the director of the National Institute of Infectious Diseases and White House advisor. 2 doses, fully protected. You don't need to wear vaccine or the mask. You can move around. Then what happened in reality? Those who are fully vaccinated, they were getting COVID positive. Now they changed that one, saying that take the booster dose. That will give you the complete protection. Then again, people are getting. So the authority, what do they say? Oh, even if you get it, it will be mild. You won't be required to hospitalize. That's also not true. Thousands of people have died who are fully vaccinated and who are taken even booster. Then they say, oh, unvaccinated people, they die more than the fully vaccinated. They keep on changing that one. Just that is influence. The topic is influence and make you go for the vaccination again and again. In this context, let me tell you, look at me, my age, you can guess. I haven't taken even 1 dose. I have not taken even 1 dose. Is it because that is I'm against vaccines? No. I strongly urge everybody to take polio vaccine, smallpox vaccine, triple, everything. The only 2 vaccines which I don't think that is they will help you. One is vaccine against the flu, vaccine against COVID. You are listening to the authority. So the whole talk is about Mr. Sidhva, authority. That is the point where I'm just on. If you just blindly follow the authority, it is going to help only the vaccine industry, not you. And the Dr. Fauci, who had taken 4 doses of vaccine and who always wears the 2 masks, not 1, 2 masks, double mask. Last time he was down with COVID. And the president of this country, 4 doses, is now down with the COVID. But still they are saying, take the vaccine, take the vaccine. Because of the vaccine, I am alive. That Justin Trudeau, Mr. Sidhva, you mentioned the name Canadian Prime Minister. He had 3 doses and he had COVID twice this year, January and May. So the take-home message, don't blindly believe, follow authority. Do your own thinking. I have shared some facts and this one. I don't have the authority. when I share the facts with my own group, 20 to 30% of the people, they are willing to believe me. But still, 70 to 80%, no, you don't have an authority. This is coming from CDC, ICMR, WHO. They continue for the taking the vaccine. If you want to ask me any other questions, I'm ready to talk. And Mr. Sidhva, once again, I'm really thankful to you. And in between, I did get a call. I received a call, but I thought this one is more important than that one. So I told him, okay, is it okay if I call you back after say 1 hour? So like that, I postponed that one.
Thank you. Thank you.
You brought the right person. This is something everybody needs to think about it.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you want to ask questions or clarification, I'm available. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Venugopal. Yes, Yogesh has raised the hand. Yogesh, go ahead. You're on mute, sir. You're just unmute. Yogesh Yudkir. Just click on unmute, sir. Just click on unmute. Yeah, you can go ahead now. I can hear you.
Sorry, there was a bit of noise. So my question is, the book, thanks for the amazing presentation, Sidhva sir. But how is it that we can apply these techniques in the domain of our business? So I was looking more out of the stories are good, the formulas are also good. But when it comes to preparing our contents for the products or the services, the videos that we prepare, how is it that we can apply these things? That was my question.
Well, if you read the book, it will tell you more in details because here I couldn't share. There on the title it is written by somebody. It is for marketers. It is among the most important book written in last 10 years. So a lot of detailing is there. I wanted to simplify it, so I have done it from that angle. But most of the things in one way or the other, it can be followed. Like stereotype thinking in business, that is what we do. This has happened in the past, we continue that.
Right.
Contrast principle is another thing. When two things, the first one is placed and then the second, your decisions are different. So knowing this will help you in business. But I suggest that you read the book, then you'll be more clear.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you, Farokh. Yes. Anyone else have questions or anything you want to ask, share, whatever you've learned in last 45 minutes of sharing? Okay. Deepika, Felicita, Amresh Pandey, Parthiban, Prasad, Rani, Reena, Matu, Satyanarayan. Yeah. I'm inviting everyone. Okay.
Yeah, myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Farokh sir, as usual, an amazing session. I always get takeaway from the way you communicate, the way you bring on your conversations and share it across. It's really connectable and a lot of learnings. Just in thing that I received a call from my parent, so I missed in the between some of the parts. So I can just request you if I can just quickly if you can just revise the 9 points for all of us. Maybe because I missed it, so if I can have it from you once, that would really help. Just the 9 points.
So which one did you miss, Deepika?
Initially, when the network at your end had gone, and afterwards it was my issue because I received a call from my parent. I had to continue the conversation. So just the 9 points, if you can just quickly revise it for all of us, if that's okay. Otherwise, it's fine.
Yeah. So Deepika,
is it okay with others?
Yeah, because the recording is available. You're already streaming on YouTube.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
All the groups, it will be the recordings will be available, and we'll also share with you.
Oh, we'll refer. Thank you.
Still want anything particular to ask? That would be better because then reviewing the whole thing, I think it would be repeating in nature.
Okay, no, because I just missed two of maybe a couple of points in between. Hence, I'm not in sync with the totality.
So recordings available. Don't worry.
I'll surely refer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Shakti has raised the hand. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Hello, Farokh, sir. It was one of the fantastic session. Really, I enjoyed, although I joined a little late. But yes, the only thing which means really I want to know about is first few points, sir. First 5 points really means what I missed about is at the end when I hear about what you were discussing, there were such a relatable examples. They were such a fantastic examples that I felt the need to understand the book well, sir. Just in 5 minutes, if you can give a quick, just a summary, sir, because not only me, might be some people have joined late and they would love to hear from you because your hold over the topic was really fantastic. Thank you
Okay.
so much, sir.
In the beginning, I said that what is the reason this person has written the book, Dr. Cialdini. And he says that the reason I read because I am a sucker by nature. People take advantage of me. People make me buy a magazine which I never read. People give me tickets for show and I buy them when I never go to the show. So what is it which these people do which influences me into doing what they want to do? So then he did research on that, and out of this influence, he found these 7 weapons, which we have detailed in great details.
Thank you so much, sir. That's why I can relate it. The same thing is happening with lots of
Evidently, the first 5 are stereotype thinking.
Maybe if you want to, Farokh, you can share the screen again. Just to move the slide, maybe take in 3 to 5 minutes maximum. Yeah.
Okay.
If you are comfortable. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yeah.
I think I'll put it in this mode only.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
The first is the stereotype thinking. That is, we refuse to use our brains. Whatever we know, we continue to be on that. And that's why people take advantage of our thinking. The classic example which I gave was of a person having a jewelry shop. And when they laid out the turquoise and put the right price, not a single piece went. When that price was by mistake doubled, all the pieces were lifted. So, which means that people connect quality to expensive. More the expensive, greater the quality, which is not correct. It's not necessary. So one must think on individual thing before going ahead. That's the gist of stereotype thinking. Contrast principle, we said that 2 objects or 2 people differently. If two objects are placed in front of you and you have to select, if you see A first, then you arrive at a decision. If you see B first, you arrive at a different decision. So that's the example of the contract principle. I gave the example of these candidates who were interviewed in colleges, that only one candidate was average to good, rest were washout. But that average to good candidate was seen last. Therefore, they got nobody. Had they seen him first, they would have got one candidate selected. The third one is reciprocation. People like to pay back favors received by them. They find it very difficult to say no. It's almost impossible to say no to them. And that's why when the youngster did a favor by helping start the car, which had stalled, she went, after a few days, he went and asked for the keys. She immediately first gave him the keys. Then she started worrying that, will he be 18 years old? Will he have a insurance? So these thoughts came subsequently. She should have not given easily. She should have inquired those questions and then done. But because a favor was done, instantly she agreed to it. So he was using reciprocation influence on the lady. Reciprocal concession. This lady wanting to sell tickets for charity. They're very costly. So he coolly turns it down. Then he says, why not buy 2 chocolate bars, which are 500 each. So he lands up buying 2 chocolate bars, and both his wife and he are diabetic, and he's lost 1,000 rupees. And in the end, he's not sure the lady was genuine. So that is reciprocal concession. Commitment and consistency. In this case, the father was committed to buying the robotic car. And you can say, in a sense, the shop owner duped him by purposely hiding the real car. And then till Christmas, he gave a second-hand car. And after post-Christmas, he said the car is available. So he is forced to buy 2 cars because he had promised a youngster. Once he has given a promise, a commitment, he has to stick to it. The next is social proofing. That means you go by norms. This is very simple. What others are doing, how they behave, what they do, we tend to overweight them. We go for products with maximum sale in the market. We watch TV shows with maximum TRP ratings. Next is liking. We are influenced by people we like. People who we like because of attraction, similarity, and complement. So any of these work, we will give in. Authority. As Venugopal said, authority is a sense of duty which people blindly follow. And nobody wants to go against authority. A case which the person is having problem in his ears, and imagine that nurse putting the drops in the rear side, in the anus, just because he had, instead of writing right ear, he had written our ear. So he thought rear. Rear is the anus. So that's how we get. And last is, of course, scarcity, which becomes very valuable. As things become scarce, they become more and more valuable. That's it, I think. Shakti, is it okay?
No.
Deepika?
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Really means, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you. So anyone else? Yeah.
It is interesting. Already, the Shakti Ashwati, she applied that liking principle and she got it because she complimented Mr. Sidhva lavishly, and she was able to get that one, that he summarized everything. So you are a smart girl. Okay.
Sir, I'm already a big fan of Sidhva, sir, because whenever I listen to him, I feel like I'm getting something new. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so yes, Mr. M.K. Burjorji, you want to share? Next, Felicita. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm Farokh's sister.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And
yeah,
I have a problem in the sense I have opposed an authority and facing tremendous problems because of it. How do I resolve it?
Okay. We are talking about the influence we allow the authority to bear on us. The resolution of the authority is a different chapter. We listen to authority. You are not listening to the authority, right?
Yeah.
You're fighting with them. So that's a different chapter. Here the question is, you blindly follow authority, which is wrong, which you should not do. That is one of the weapons which you should not do. So maybe some other day I'll answer your second question.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, yes, Felicita, go ahead.
I joined today only.
Okay, no issue. Whatever you want to share, whatever you heard, maybe you want to say something about that, you can go ahead. Yeah, and you can watch the recording. See, presentations, as it's put in the chat, we might not be sharing with you. but you can review this video recording, which is available on YouTube and Facebook, and also we'll put it on LMS as well.
I'll go through it. I'll go through it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Felicita, for joining. Yes, who else? Just we have few more minutes left. And if you have still not introduced, you can quickly introduce as well. Yeah, Parthiban, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Farokh sir, for your learnings. It's really interesting. This is the first time I have attended. And so this reciprocal concession is, it's all inbuilt in our human behavior itself, actually. So we are not able to resist that things. So how to avoid or these kind of consciously, whether it is genuine request or it is request of something to make it happen. So the as a part of negotiation, how to avoid that that reciprocal concession, how to make it up is something you can able to throw
Thank
some
you.
light on this. Yes.
Knowledge of reciprocal concession will help you to resist. You know this guy is using reciprocal concession to get things from you. Like the chap asked for 4,000 rupees and that tuned down to 1,000. I was very happy कि यार 4,000 नहीं जाता है 1,000 जाता है तो चलो दे दो. So, but had I known that he was trying to, and the best part is I knew I'll never get the money back, and yet I gave. So this is exactly what he's trying to say. Don't be a sucker. Don't fall for these traps. So if you are knowledgeable of these things, you can resist. Each one of them, you can resist. Similarly, reciprocal concession, you can resist. You can make out that this guy is like, first he tells you one thing, then you don't agree, then he gives you another one, which you fall for it. Don't fall for the second one. You know he's using reciprocal concession. It has to be practiced. I mean, it won't come so easy.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, sir. Sure, sir. Thanks, sir. So can you put YouTube link in the chat box so that I have to subscribe it? Actually, I haven't done subscribe to this. So
Sure, I'll share it.
Yeah. Yeah, sir. In the chat, if you put it, then we can go and subscribe the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
If you want to just remember Amplefy, AMPLEFY.LIVE. That's it. If you remember that, it will take you to the channel. Simple. Okay. Amplify.live, LIVE. Okay. So that connects to the YouTube channel. But anyhow, I put the link in the chat. Okay. So any more questions? Anyone want to share? What was the learning? Any one takeaways from this session, today's session?
Nobody else wants to say anything. I would like to again, that is my thoughts because they are useful and relevant. The authority fact, when the European Union, when they tried to exercise their authority on India, that we should not buy oil from Russia, and if you buy the oil from the Russia, we will be funding the war. Then our External Affairs Minister, one of the smartest guys who knows how to think and speak well, and how he handled that one. He didn't fall for that authority, that version. He said that Europe's problems are not world's problems. World's problems are not Europe's problems. And India will do what is good for the national interest. So like that, his interview, if nobody has watched that one, please watch that interview. It is around 27 minutes long. I watched that one very carefully and critically. And that would again support Mr. Sidhva's this talk. That is the authority, how they use the authority to influence and how he was able to resist. And another one also here, bait and switch. This term I don't know because Mr. Sidhva might not have heard this one. Bait and switch, very commonly used in America. When I wanted to buy a used car, a Toyota Camry, I looked at the Google search and I found one dealer offering a car with a low mileage, price was very attractive. So I immediately, okay, I drove. I went to the showroom. And what did I hear? Oh, that one is sold just a couple of hours back. we have another car. We have similar car. And when I looked at that one, they were priced differently, higher. Okay, I didn't realize it was a bait and switch.
Yeah.
Then next day, another ad. Then also I went there. Then also they're also the same story. Oh, it's gone. We're sorry. We have another car. So that is a bait and switch. They put that bait and bring the customer in. Then they switch to something else.
Right. Yeah. So Dr. Venugopal, what happens is like if they put that way, also a lot of people lose the trust with them. Okay, so we have seen happening everywhere, not in only in US, all over India as well, all over the world also. Like a lot of people, they just want to put a sale saying, no, here in Bangalore, I was seeing, okay, you get a complete blazer set, okay, blazer, like 3-piece suit, 499 rupees, okay, and that is just a demo piece. What they put it, hang it there, but when you go original to buy, it will be not less than 4,500 to 5,000 rupees. So almost 10x the price. So that is all, it's a gimmick, marketing gimmick, what I call. Okay, that's all happening across the globe. Yes, today, as you rightly said. And thank you for putting across that, Dr. Venugopal. Yes, amazing. And also I want to thank Farokh Sidhva for amazing session, sharing all the insights, taking out all the points from the book, whatever is shared by Robert. And also he's putting his own experience and his own knowledge and his own small stories, which was really connecting. So I would say it was completely mind-blowing session by Farokh Sidhva. And also he has put in all in the slide. So it is more of interactive and making it live actually, rather than now most of us, what we do is we are habitual reading our book, which is black and white, but he has put it into a colorful presentation. So that's the amazing thing, I would say. Farokh Sidhva has taken so much time and effort in terms of presenting it. So it's amazing. So those who have missed out, please watch the recording, okay, and leave a comment. So that also share about what you have learned, because that's what, anyone who is sharing the presentation, sharing about a book, reviewing the whole book in just half an hour to 1 hour. And if he gets a good feedback or good comments, that would make his day. That is what I wouldn't say. Okay, so that's what is required, is you go through it, share some comments, likes and all those stuff, so that he gets motivated more. And also I invite every one of you, those who are reading books, want to come share about book, like summarizing, reviewing, whatever it possible. If not, we can even create a debate, discussion on particular topic like fiction, non-fiction books, like comics, political history, various things. So it is like an open forum. So every time we already have few people lined up already for next couple of months, where the people are going to share about the books. Okay, I'll just what is happening on 13th of August. So we have a book which I'm going to share you right away. Okay, so I think something gone wrong. Hold on. Okay, so I'm sharing your book, which is okay. So I'm sharing. Yes. So this is the book which would be reviewed next meeting, that is on 13th of August. Okay, by Narendra Naik. So he is going to go into the review of Skill with People by Les Giblin. Okay, so maybe likewise, I recommend any of you are really interested to share, come forward. That is what I would recommend. And also I now hand it over to Farokh to share few lines before we wind up. Yeah, so thank you, Farokh, for bringing in and making this live session. Yeah, thank you.
Well, I can only thank for all the contributions made by other people, and the questions asked were very relevant. And I hope I have done some justice, if not all, towards understanding the book and making people read the book.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Farokh Sidhva said rightly, this is just a summarizing and giving a review, just a just a trailer kind of thing. Okay, so for getting the whole movie, you have to read the book yourself. You should experience yourself. That is where you get the actual, the nectar of the honey, we say. So same thing, when you read this book, you get complete clarity, what you want, and maybe your perspective of reading out book would be completely different than what Farokh would have gone through. So that's also amazing. And maybe you can get connect with him and share your perspective as well. Okay, so that it would be easy for him to also get connected with you in future. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. It was really awesome. And I also recommend you is please share wherever you are in whichever group you are part of about this learning and about Farokh Sidhva's presentation as well, so that people can get connected, maybe watch the session again, or maybe he can connect with Farokh Sidhva as well. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. Good night. See you in the next meeting on 2nd Saturday of August. That is 13th August at 7 p.m.